Hey there. Ready to do a deep dive on some seriously underrated creatures, beavers?
You're telling me?
You might already know them as those busy dam builders, but get this, they're so much more than that.
We're about to go deep on the huge impact these little guys have on the environment.
And trust me, you'll never look at a beaver dam the same way again.
We've got this fantastic fact sheet from the NRDC, Beavers, Nature's Wetland Ecosystem Engineers.
Right off the bat, I'm intrigued. Ecosystem engineers. That's a pretty impressive title for a rodent, don't you think?
It's a title they've earned. Think about it, beavers don't just build a home for themselves. They actually reshape entire landscapes.
Okay, so paint a picture for me. What does that look like in action?
Imagine a stream just flowing through the woods. Now imagine beavers move in. They get to work building dams, and suddenly that single stream transforms into this incredible network of ponds and wetlands.
So it's not just the immediate area around the dam, it's like a ripple effect.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really amazing. This transformation spreads out, impacting the entire ecosystem. The NRDC report mentions this study from Wyoming, where researchers found that streams with beavers had 3 times, yes, you heard that right, 3 times the wetland area compared to streams without them.
Wow, 3 times. That's a massive difference. But hold on, let's hit pause for a second because I think it's easy to get caught up in the how and forget the why. So for those of us who don't spend our days wading through wetlands, why should we care? What makes them so special?
Wetlands are more important than most people realize. They're like biodiversity hotspots, teeming with life, from tiny insects to fish, amphibians, birds, even larger mammals. Everything is drawn to these thriving ecosystems.
It's like the lifeblood of the natural world.
Absolutely. And here's where it gets really interesting for us. Those wetlands aren't just nice to look at. They're crucial for clean water, flood control, and even combating climate change. They're doing us all a huge favor behind the scenes.
Okay, so they're like these unsung heroes of the environment.
Exactly. And we need them now more than ever, which is why this beaver comeback is so important. You see, since the 1780s, we've lost over half of the wetlands in the U.S. Let that sink in for a moment. More than half. That's devastating, and it makes the role of beavers, these wetland creators, even more vital. It's a real shame we need all the wetlands we can get, especially with the rate at which we're losing them.
It's almost like they're trying to fix the planet for us, one dam at a time.
In a way, they are. But, and I hate to say this, but their construction projects don't always go over so well with their human neighbors. The NRDC report actually mentions that as beavers have made their comeback, not everyone is thrilled about it.
Really? I mean, who doesn't love a wetland?
Well, picture this. You're a homeowner, and suddenly your backyard is flooded because a beaver dam has backed up a nearby creek. Or maybe a road you rely on is washed out. Beavers don't always stick to building in remote wilderness areas.
Okay, I can see how that might cause some friction. So what happens when those conflicts arise?
Well, the solutions aren't always pretty, and this is where the NRDC report gets into some uncomfortable territory. In many places, the go-to solution is trapping, and not the catch-and-release kind.
Oh no, I was afraid you were going to say that. You're talking about lethal traps.
I am. And it's as grim as it sounds. We're talking about conibear traps, designed to kill quickly by crushing an animal's neck.
I've heard of those. They sound awful.
They are. And sadly, it doesn't always work as intended. Sometimes the trap catches the wrong part of the animal's body, leading to a slow, agonizing death. And if the trap is set underwater, even worse, the animal ends up drowning, which can take a long time. It's honestly heartbreaking.
Ugh, that's just awful. And it's not just beavers that are at risk, right? I remember reading something in the report about other animals getting caught in those traps.
You're right. The unintended victims are a major problem. We're talking about otters, muskrats, turtles, all kinds of creatures getting caught in the crossfire.
It's tragic. The NRDC report actually mentioned that in 2014, a staggering 93% of otters killed by wildlife services were accidental trap deaths. It's like we're trying to help beavers make a comeback, but at what cost? It feels like a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough reality. But, the good news is it doesn't have to be this way.
Okay, give me some good news here.
There are actually some really innovative solutions out there that can help beavers and humans coexist peacefully.
Okay, I'm all ears because I need some hope right now. What kind of solutions are we talking about?
So instead of trying to get rid of beavers altogether, what if we could, work with their natural instincts?
Okay.
For example, there are these things called beaver deceivers.
Beaver deceivers.
Yeah, and they're these devices that help control the water flow around beaver dams.
Okay.
So the beavers get to keep their dams, but it prevents flooding in unwanted areas.
So we're outsmarting them, but in a good way.
Exactly.
Eh.
And it gets even more creative. Some places use barriers like wire mesh or even a mix of sand and paint to deter beavers from building in certain areas.
Really?
Turns out they're pretty picky about the texture of their dams.
Huh. That's fascinating. It's like we can actually work with nature instead of against it.
Right.
Are there any real-world examples of this working? Because sometimes it's hard to imagine humans and wildlife living in harmony.
Yeah, you're right. It takes effort, but there are some really inspiring success stories out there. Um, the report actually highlights one in Martinez, California.
Okay.
They had this whole group called Worth a Dam that came together to protect a beaver colony that was living near the city center.
Wait, so instead of removing the beavers, they rallied to protect them?
They did. And get this, it turned into this whole community celebration of coexistence. People were thrilled to have beavers back in the area. And they saw firsthand how those busy little dam builders were revitalizing the creek and bringing the whole ecosystem back to life.
That's amazing. It sounds like they found a way to rewrite the ending to that, beavers or backstory. Instead of conflict, they found a way to make it work for everyone.
Exactly. And it's a great example of how we can approach these situations with a little creativity and a willingness to find solutions that benefit both people and wildlife.
I love that. So as we wrap things up here, what's the key takeaway you want to leave our listeners with today?
Um, I think it's important to remember that when it comes to nature, things are rarely black and white. Beavers are amazing creatures who play a vital role in keeping our ecosystems healthy. And while their engineering skills can sometimes clash with our own plans, there are always ways to find a balance, to coexist peacefully, and even celebrate the incredible biodiversity around us.
So next time you see a beaver dam, take a moment to appreciate the incredible impact these little creatures have on our world. They're more than just dam builders. They're ecosystem engineers, water purifiers, and maybe even a reminder that with a little ingenuity, we can find ways to share this planet we call home. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive on beavers. Until next time, keep exploring.